Hello, welcome back to the last episode of the series How to Find the One. I've talked about different things in the last three previous episodes about attachment styles, or in general, how you should focus on yourself to know what you need instead of just what you want. So, today I would like to focus on the more practical aspect of how to actually find the one. So let's be jump right into it. I think it's a numbers game. It's not like a fairy tale that you go out and you just meet people that is the love of your life. But I don't think people understand it enough to work towards that. I'm talking about people who are actively dating because they actively want to be in a relationship and find a partner. So I don't want to compare to job searching because even though they're similar, one is more transactional. But you need to understand that if people meeting 50 people per year compared to someone only meeting 5 people per year, the probability is, of course, the one that meeting more people to have higher chance to meet the people that could be their partner. So that is why I want to focus on how to maximize um, the method or the way that you can date sustainably so that you don't go mental boom. Because let's be honest, it's not super easy to constantly meet strangers, telling about yourself and your past and everything. Especially, I think a lot of people using dating apps. I mean, I personally also use a lot of dating apps in the past to date. And my current partner is also met from the dating app. So I definitely think that is a good way to meet new people and it's possible to find partners. I hear a lot of friends actually found the partner through dating apps as well. But it's basically like a super long process. And along the way you need to learn how to filter people. And that it's the more difficult part for someone who's new using this kind of apps. I mean, nowadays we're not naturally meeting people organically. So having a good filtering method is quite important. Back then, I have friends who I would trust for them to give like a first impression from their prompts or self intro or pictures. For example, there are some profiles of quite obvious that they are not looking for something serious. And you need to not kid yourself and trying to do something serious with them. At least not right away. It's just not the same. Um, it's just the success rate is quite low from my experience. So let's assume that you want to find someone stable, long term, and serious. So definitely, if you see the profile that they are writing something super abstract, super performative, like this is like the word that we use nowadays, super performative, then you need to expect that the person um, is more likely to just looking for something more casual, at least in the beginning. So if you're interested with in knowing them, just know what you're getting into, and it's completely no harm to meet people who say they're not actively looking for something serious. If you go for like a date, if you find them interesting. But you just have to be honest about what you're looking for and see if they're even interested in looking. So, like, open communication is one big thing. And sometimes during the conversations, you kind of already know if the person's even ready to have something meaningful. I would say if people who are not super active, testing you back or making plans and so on, you shouldn't think or invest too much because using an app is just like a way to connect you with people that you normally don't meet in your day to day life. But you still have to meet in person to start anything. But we don't want to just spend a whole weekend to meet someone that you are not even sure about and wasted it. So here comes actual ways that you can observe if this person's worth meeting. So first, are they open to have a casual chat through testing already? Because if they are not answering, I wouldn't say answer you within 10 minutes, half an hour, that kind of level. But if they don't answer you after like a couple of days and so on, I don't think you should push for it. It's whatever. Because again, numbers game. If someone is interested in you through apps, even though it's just superficially, usually it's like that they like how you look, what you write about, then they would be down to meet earlier. Okay? And that's like the first step, like just to meet earlier. For women, it's much easier. I know for men in general, unless you're a good looking guy, you're an attractive person, which is really quite a lot here in Berlin, by the way, then you possibly don't have that many matches. So don't take the rejection personally, because for someone, even if it's average, as long as you are like a woman, you will have way more matches than men in general from the dating apps. You can see the statistics. And if it makes you feel like you are losing confidence because of that, it's also completely fine to take a break. And then the next things I would like to talk about is that your mentality when it comes to socialize with another person. This is like a whole new topic that I may need to have a new series about. How do you socialize with people that people enjoy your company? It's a big topic. And I would like to share what I observe and experience. I would like to emphasize on the fact that don't focus on yourself all the time. You need to learn how to be an active listener. You need to know how to ask questions. And most importantly, you need to enjoy the process. Not everybody is a social butterfly or extroverted, so I completely understand. That is why filtering matters. You should chat and see if there's some kind of common ground that you would like to meet, um, to explore. So let's say you are going on a date and the person arrived a bit late. Would you be really angry? You're kind of pissed off, or like secretly in your mind you'll be like, I'm already gonna leave. I don't like people who's late. Then you kind of just ruin your mood because you're here anyways. Unless you be like, this is my no go. I'm going home. You're late. Boom. Okay, then you do you. So that's why I say, be a little bit more lenient and focus on having a good time together with the other person. And the other person can totally feel that. It doesn't matter if in the end it's not compatible or you don't feel anything. By the way, you shouldn't right away feel so strongly to the other person if you are meeting for the first time. Of course, you can have a crush, but mind you, you don't know the other person that well. So most of the things in your head are possibly fabricated. That's very important. I want to point it out. The other thing that I want to emphasize is that give time. Time is your friend. You can date multiple people at the same time and you can be transparent about it. But do not escalate and fast track the interaction or dating too much to the point that you are already attached to the person. Let's say you sleep with the person within, I don't know, the first 3 times that you see each other. Then you're basically under the influence of the oxytocin and so on, because when you cuddle with someone, when you're close physically and all that, you have these things. It kind of clouds your judgment. Unless you be like, I actually just want to out here, take off my mind, date some people, have some fun. Then that's not what I'm focusing on talking about. I'm focusing on people who want to find someone that is compatible in the long term to start a relationship. So you should delay all of these until you have a better idea of the person. Okay? And I definitely want to kind of draw the line a bit around like 3 months. Like, you shouldn't start officially a relationship within 3 months of knowing the person. Why? It's because within 3 months, you still honeymoon period. Like, honeymoon period most of the time lasts up to 1 year. And the first 3 to 6 months is like honeymoon period. And even earlier, sometimes it's like you are infatuated. Everything's about this person is amazing. It looks sexy, is beautiful, smart, all kind of things that you want to think about. But you need your brain to calm down a little bit um, with time. Then you will start to realize that to actually eager to see this person, even though we've been dated for 6 months and onwards. Because at the end of the day, in a relationship, you spend time all the time, and suddenly, for whatever reason, you feel like, you know what, actually, I'd rather be alone. Then might not be the best sign, I would say. According to my friend and her story, she thought she needed alone time. And I knew her. She's very independent. And I would assume that she also needs alone time. But then she realized that with the partner that she's having right now, it's not the case at all. So I think you should, you know, take this into account. Let time to choose it for you. My personal experience is that I went on dates with people. There are people that I like more or less or doesn't feel much about it. And then over time, either they are not as eager meeting you or you are not feeling meeting them. And you realize that you don't even need to think about it too much. You just naturally go and meet the person. You are able and allowed to be yourself. This is another very interesting point. You need to feel like you don't need to be performing. It's not a performative interaction. Even subtly, if you feel like uneasy, this is like a sign. We don't have to always know the answers about, why is it like that? But you should trust it. And then practice how to have an enjoyable time with people in a social situation. And that is the way to increase his chance to find the one. Time is short, it's about 15 minutes again. Thank you for listening. If you think this is useful, please let me know. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. And I will continue another new series in May. So thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.